U.S. Magistrate Judge Bruce Reinhart in Florida. And what he has gone through now in just, what's it been, not quite 2 weeks, as a result of his decision to approve a search warrant, has not been what one would routinely expect a federal judge to go through, to say the least. He has faced a storm of death threats since he cleared the way for the FBI to search the filthy pig bastard Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago Winter Palace, which is part of a probe into more criminal activity by the Orange Vomit, this time having to do with his theft of government property in the form of top secret documents, classified documents, that this rotten bastard took with him when he was kicked out of Washington. Judge Reinhart's home address, because he signed off on the warrant, was posted on the Christian Nazi websites, along with anti-Semitic slurs, because Reinhart happens to be a Jew. Listen, I need to, if I haven't made this clear, I need to make it clear now. And before I say what I'm going to say, let me just add this. The synagogue in South Florida that Judge Reinhart attends canceled its Shabbos services for this evening because of the threats to the synagogue. Now, I need to be crystal clear if I haven't been. I know I have been, but let me reiterate. The Christian Nazis, the Christian terrorists in this country, want to destroy every Jew, every Muslim, every gay person, every trans person, every liberal, every Democrat. I am as serious as an ice-cold heart attack. This is what has become the objective of the Christian terrorists. And they're not fucking around. I mean, they're dead serious about this. And you and I and millions of us have got to take this seriously. What is happening on the political scene is another clear indication. Look at the kind of filth, Christian terrorist filth, that is winning Republican Party primaries for all kinds of offices around the country. Look at them. Listen to them. And the Orange Vomit himself is increasing the temperature among his supporters, bitching and whining about the search as political persecution, and then calling on the judge to recuse himself because the judge has made political contributions in the past to Democratic candidates. I mean, the hypocrisy there doesn't even bear commenting on because it is so thick and so deep. So I won't comment on it. I will add that Reinhart, the judge, has also contributed to Republican candidates for political office. But never mind, right? Now, these threats against Judge Reinhart are part of a vast attack on law enforcement and the judiciary in this country that's going on right now, particularly against the FBI, by the Orange Vomit son of a bitch Donald Trump and the scum who make up his allies in the aftermath of this search of his hovel in Florida. But experts now, experts in social psychology or political psychology, or just in politics, experts are warning that this focus, these death threats, this violence being targeted toward this judge, which is are coming during an uptick in threats to the judiciary in general, is dangerous for the rule of law in the United States and whether or not we're going to continue as a democracy. Dangerous? We've never gone through anything like this, and I think that's the reason that so many Americans are not fully aware of what the Christians are doing. The Christian terrorists, because this is unique in American history. We've had crazy people before. We've had our Barry Goldwater and Senator Joe McCarthy, and we've had our political nutfucks, but nothing like this ever. Even the lead up to the Civil War was not like this. U.S. Circuit Judge Richard Sullivan, he is the chairperson of the Judicial Conference Committee on Judicial Security, said in a statement in the aftermath of the search of the Orange Vomits hovel, this judge said, quote, "Threats against judges fulfilling their constitutional responsibilities strike at the very core of our democracy. Judges should not have to fear retaliation for doing their jobs." Well, of course not. But the Christian terrorists don't give a goddamn about what somebody's job is, or what their oath is, or what the Constitution is, or what the rule of law is. There is no rule of law to Christian terrorists except the law as they see it in their fucking Bibles. That becomes their law. And the shit that their leaders, like this filthy pig Trump, make up, that becomes their law. Wow. Now, it was Judge Reinhart who had the hearing yesterday on a request by media organizations to unseal the underlying affidavit that the Justice Department submitted to him when it asked for the Mar-a-Lago search warrant. And as you know by now, a decision is being made to perhaps release some of that information. And the U.S. Marshals Service, whose job it is to protect federal judges and magistrates, the service was asked to comment about, what are you doing to protect Reinhart and his family? And in a statement, the U.S. Marshals Service said this, quote, "While we do not discuss our specific security measures, we continuously review the measures in place and take appropriate steps to provide protection as necessary to ensure the integrity of the federal judicial process." Wow. What a lot of prepositional phrases there, right? Okay, so what they're saying, it doesn't make a whole lot of clear sense, but maybe that's what it's supposed to not do. Make a lot of clear sense. So that the evil fuckers in this country, the Christian terrorists, are not quite sure what the U.S. Marshal Service has in mind for the people who threaten the federal judiciary. I can't even pause to think, what if members of the U.S. Marshal Service are also part of the Christian terrorist movement in this country? I don't even want to think about that, so I won't. Now, the vitriol, the poison, the hate, the violence is being directed at Judge Reinhart. It's not unique. In fact, it's becoming increasingly common. Give you an example. According to the Associated Press, in 2014, 8 years ago, the U.S. Marshal Service handled 768 incidents that it classified as inappropriate communications, is there a blander term than that, aimed at judges and court employees. Inappropriate communications, 768 of them. In 2021, the U.S. Marshal Service reported more than 4,500. From 700 to 4,500. And I would imagine that of the 4,500 reported last year, probably 99.9% of them were a little bit stronger than, quote, inappropriate communications, end quote. Wouldn't you? I mean, that would be a fair guess, would it not? Yes, of course it would be. The chief judge for the Northern District of Texas, federal judge, her name is Barbara Lynn. She said, quote, at one point, virtually everyone recognized how inappropriate it was to threaten the life or security of a judge because of a disagreement with the judge's decision. Now, she adds, I think there are a lot of people who don't think that there's anything wrong with threatening the life of a judge. End quote. That's correct, Judge Lynn. And they are, to the last fucking member, Christian terrorists. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.